All right, what's going on, guys? Big Dog Brett, Keith with us today. Went to the G-Day game. Lots to talk about. We're going to try and run through everything as quick as we can, seeing as how I don't have unlimited memory on my phone. Well, I guess we'll kick it off with Keith. What was your first impression of today's game? What was your overall analysis?
Um, it's definitely subdued with a smaller crowd there. Just definitely a different feel, but a lot of excitement still. A lot of people were really excited to be in and around Georgia football. So, but as far as what was going on the field, um, it was very. You saw a very, I guess, vanilla is the word that keeps coming to mind between me and Big Dog offense. Didn't really see much, much out there. Nothing surprising.
Yeah.
A lot of check downs, a lot of just
Straight up the gut runs.
Yeah, nothing too surprising. Found it interesting that it wasn't a clear ones versus twos situation. It seems like Kirby mixed it up. Mixed some of the key players on both teams. So, but all in all, it's fun. Good day.
Yeah, I agree. I think the staff did a really good job. The concession stands and everything were open. Everything was clean. It looked nice. The seats were set up, spaced out properly. Everybody seemed to be real cordial towards one another. We did have an opportunity to go by the bookstore, and they were doing some signings today. DeAndre Swift, Aziz Ojulari, Richard LeCount, and legendary Mr. Vince Dooley. So I did manage to get some signatures here from those guys. Very excited about that. Also got a signed autograph picture from Coach Dooley. So we're going to put those on the wall at home. One of the things I did notice, you had kind of brought this up before we started the video, is that most of the game, it really didn't seem like it was ones versus ones and twos versus twos. It really seemed like a mixed bag. Watching those guys get out. First of all, anybody who watches Georgia football, you know good and well that Pod Lesney is our field goal kicker. The guy can kick. But the ones, which we would consider to be the red team, the offense, when they got down to the end zone the first time and they went to kick a field goal, Jake Camarda comes out. I was kind of surprised about that. By the way, guys, Jake Camarda missed 3 field goals today. One was pretty close, but
what was the 58?
One was like a 58-yarder, so it was that was a pretty long field goal attempt. I'll give him credit on that one, but he should have made at least one of the 3 attempts. Bright spots. Who did you see out there on the field that you really thought was somebody worth watching?
Yeah, I mean, right off the rip, the walk-on Nye Mitchell on offense. He got to play on the on the team with JT. So he got targeted quite a bit with JT. It seemed like he was kind of a comfortable target for JT. So not sure, if this is the kid we're going to see this year. Found it interesting again. Like I said, we wasn't clearly a ones versus twos situation, but he was out there in the wide receiver corps on JT's team. So he definitely jumped off the field at you. He seemed to be targeted quite a bit. I also think Amari's speed seemed to be, he seemed to be breaking up a lot of passes. Quay Walker.
Yeah.
It seemed like every time
the announcer, said Quay Walker with the takedown, Quay Walker with the stop. He was all over the field.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and kind of looking forward to a big year from Quay. I think this is his senior year.
Yep.
He's down there from kind of my neck of the woods in Cordele, so everybody's kind of waiting for him to have a breakout year. I think this is kind of his year. And then the shot by Kyler Ringo at the end of the game, near the end of the game, that was some physicality that you love to see.
Yeah,
he laid the wood on that hit.
Yeah, there was a couple of good hits, and actually, I got a recording of that while we were at the game. I was watching. They were kind of almost doing like a round robin approach with their quarterbacks on the black side of the ball. Watching it go between Beck and Vandergriff, and even Muschamp, son, got in the game, which I thought was a nice touch. Let the kid get in there and play a little bit. I don't expect to see him play. Brock Vandergriff definitely impressed, definitely surprised. Guy's got an arm. He is not interested in trying to take a whole lot of time to figure out where to put the ball. looks like he was kind of going through not necessarily reads quickly, but he knew he had maybe one, maybe two guys that should have been or were supposed to be open, and he would fire that ball over there, just zip. There was
quarterbacks all in all looked really good. I mean, I think everybody was really waiting for JT to air it out, and it was almost
like twice.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like watching a movie. It was like they wanted to. It was almost like they had a game plan to kind of
wait till the end.
To check down, and then halfway through the fourth quarter, we're going to air it out because those last couple of drives that JT led. I mean, they threw quite a few deep balls. And,
it really seemed like there were times whenever Kirby Smart was critiquing the team playing itself, and they were playing or running plays that you normally, I won't say wouldn't run, but they were just kind of, again, the word vanilla comes to mind. 3rd and 1, you could call it James Cook up the middle, right? James Cook looked good. Kendall Milton looked really good, but I'll tell you the guy who impressed me the most as far as running back goes, and that was Deshaun Edwards. Deshaun Edwards had a great game as far as I'm concerned. What I did notice this particular spring game that I didn't notice in years past, even in regular games, is the blocking from the wide receivers. That really seems to have taken a step forward. The wide receivers seem heavily engaged in providing blocking, and that is allowing a guy who had another big day today, Mr. Darnell Washington.
Oh, yeah, this guy's going to be a monster. I mean, everybody knew he was going to be a monster, but
yeah, today just confirmed it.
Yeah, what we've seen in the spring game, it definitely confirmed it. This guy he's crazy.
Making just unbelievable catches. And to be honest with you, because they weren't throwing the ball deep a lot, you didn't really miss George Pickens. Like you're used to seeing George Pickens on the deep ball, but they were doing a great job of spreading the ball out. Deshaun Edwards has hands, guys. He can catch. We all know James Cook can catch. Zamir White had a pretty good day, I thought. He seemed like a lot stronger of a running back than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, he does. He seemed like he's put on some muscle.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's put on some size and some strength. Before, it would look like he would kind of lean into a tackle and then it would just go to the ground. There were a couple of times today where not only would he lean into that tackle, he would drive through it and pick up another guy and try to drive through that guy and pick up another 2 or 3 yards. So I really think Zamir White, I feel like he's finally trusting that leg, and it looks like he's going to be able to really put some strength, his strength to work.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of jumped out is, I know it's kind of hard to I guess, judge defense at a spring game because of the protection they give the quarterback, but it seemed like we were getting some pretty good pressure on the quarterback from both teams.
Both sides, yeah.
They both seem to be getting through. One thing, I guess, one concern that I have is there was a couple of deep balls targeted at Arian Smith, and he seemed to pull up on them. They were both overthrows. I think they were both from Beck, actually.
Yeah, I think both were from Beck.
Yeah, they looked like overthrows at first, but when they showed the review, it kind of, to me, looks like he kind of looked up at it and started drifting to it. Kind of let up, trying to judge it, and the ball just sails over his head. It looked like he did that on both of them. I could be wrong, but it looked like Beck threw a good ball to him, and he just kind of, I don't know if I wouldn't say he gave up on it because he definitely ran through it, but he just kind of slowed up whenever his eyes went to the sky.
Yeah.
So, something to keep your eye on. Hopefully Kirby will show him some film on that.
And on that last pass they threw to him, it looked like he kind of hobbled up there.
Yeah, he did.
I'd be really interested if he just kind of maybe rolled his ankle a little bit and just walked it off. I don't remember seeing him in the game after that. It doesn't mean he wasn't, but I didn't see him. But I mean, again, it was hard to tell. He did walk off the field under his own power. May have been nothing, but again, something to keep an eye out for. Darnell Washington had probably one of the most impressive. I believe he ran for a touchdown on this play. Deep pass, catches the ball, and a guy it was a touchdown. Did try to tackle him, and Darnell Washington just puts this guy in the dirt. I mean, it's like trying to tackle a truck. And he just ran right through him, and I believe ran it for a touchdown. Super impressive. Just tons of around the tons of talent in the field. So one of these guys back. She seemed to be more on the black side. It went to, I know some of you don't. To Stetson Bennett, and Stetson Bennett had a touchdown pass. I think it was to Karius Jackson.
A great throw too.
It was a great catch.
Yeah.
And it looked really good. It was a long ball, and I'm like, oh golly, Stetson looks, he looks okay. Because I don't want to like Stetson because I know how bad he let us down in the past. But it was a great pass. It looked really good. So I don't know whether I would say Carson Beck is ahead of Stetson or not. But Carson Beck was not throwing to the what I would consider to be the wide receiver 1 position.
Yeah, Beck had a great game though.
He did.
In my opinion, outside of maybe the fourth quarter when they actually let JT figure it out.
Yeah.
Going into, Carson Beck had quite a few. Well, he had multiple drives where he drove the team down the field and got points and looked really good doing it.
This was.
I was really impressed all around with all the quarterbacks. Brock Vandegrift looked very impressive. He's big.
He's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Like I said, he's quick on his feet. He's quick to make a decision, and it looks like he's going to be a guy that we're going to design some run plays for. So third and medium yardage is going to be. I think we're going to have a lot more options for teams to have to defend against with Brock in there. And
I could absolutely see. You brought this up. This was kind of your topic, and I'll reach it. You brought up that you thought Carson Beck would probably transfer after this year.
Yeah,
from what I saw out of Brock Vandegrift, I'm pretty sure Brock Vandegrift is going to be the guy for Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to plan on redshirting him. I guess that kind of depends on if Carson's going to stick around.
Right.
But Brock is. Both of those guys were really good. I can't say that Brock outshined Beck because Beck had a great game. I just think Brock probably. I don't think this is any secret. I think this is most people's analysis after seeing him before today. Brock seems to have a higher ceiling than Beck does, but as of right now, it was clear that Beck was a little bit more comfortable in the system. He was out there rolling, and Vandegrift looked good. He had the one fumble where it looks like he kind of threw his eyes downfield right before he fielded the snap. And just kind of
that was on his first series too.
Yeah, it was. It was a turnover, and before that, he led us right down the field, and we were in the red zone when he fumbled.
He had like almost a 20-yard run.
He did. He had a great run. Where he bootlegged down and got the first down.
And I want to touch on that because in a spring game, if you touch a quarterback, he's down.
Yeah.
So think about that. A true freshman rolls out and is able to pick up 20 yards without even being touched.
Yeah, he ran away from the defense.
And he outran some people. Like, he's not outrunning a slow defense at Vanderbilt. He's outrunning SEC speed Georgia defense. And managed to not only get around the corner, but get down the field and get out of bounds. Nobody touched him. He ran out of bounds on his own accord. And I think the closest guy was probably 2 or 3 yards away when he did that. So if he can provide that to our offense, I don't see how Carson Beck's going to be able to keep up to it.
That's what I was saying. Third and 4s, third and 5s with the ability for him to just cut and run.
Yep.
That's a dynamic that Georgia hasn't had. I don't remember.
Well, it changes. I don't either.
Aaron Murray was this kind of quarterback, but I think Mark Grigg took his legs away from him.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody remembers the one play where Aaron Murray about got killed on the sideline trying to run the ball in his freshman or sophomore year. It was like Aaron Murray just quit running the ball after that. But Brock seems to, he's definitely, for a big guy, he's very nimble.
He's deceptively fast. Who else do you think had a good game? I think Karius Jackson had a really good game.
Karius Jackson had a good game.
It seemed like every time he was targeted, if the ball was close enough to him, he picked it up. And I will say you can definitely tell that they are spending more time or at least it looked like putting together plays designed for the tight ends. Tight ends were targeted multiple times. There was another guy on the other side of the ball. I don't think it was Fitzpatrick, but I can't remember who it was. But I'm pretty sure it was a tight end. Was it Sewell? No. Who was it?
Not sure.
The wide receivers look good. Very rarely did we see any wide receiver kind of out of position or floundering or not knowing what to do.
I think the touchdown pass that Stetson threw that was called, they were actually a pass interference call on that.
Yeah.
I think that was to D-Rob, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think that was a D-Rob touchdown.
D-Rob had a couple of touchdowns too. I mean, a couple of big catches.
Yeah, and everybody's ready to kind of see him break out finally. It seems like he's been UGA for as long as Stetson Bennett has against him.
But definitely a good overall spring game. I do think that they kept the playbook very vanilla, knowing that they have Clemson, first game of the season. First home game is UAB, but first game of the season is Clemson. So it didn't seem, I didn't see not one time did I see the defensive line do that shift that it does to try to get the offense to false start. That didn't happen on either side of the ball all day. So to me, that was a pretty clear indicator that they were looking to keep it kind of under wraps for the most part, I guess. Now, I will tell you somebody I thought had an absolutely amazing aspect to part of his day, and that is Jake Camarda in punting.
Yeah, I mean, the punting, I don't know what.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what's happening with Georgia punting, because, I mean, even the early Noah Jones, he punted it seemed like, I don't know how far it went, but it looked like it went 60 yards to me.
It looked like it went almost out of the top of the stadium and went 60 yards.
I think we had maybe 3 different people punting the ball, and every one of them seemed to just change the entire field position.
Yeah, flip the field entirely. I think one time the ball was punted from the 30 on one side and it landed on like the 15 or 10 on the other.
Yeah, hopefully we won't have to use that as too big of a weapon, but it's nice to know that
it's there.
That we, that if we do go, not able to get the first down, we can flip the field on somebody if we need to. So.
It's pretty awesome. Very limited on penalties. I think there was maybe 2 false starts the whole game.
False start. We had a couple of times where the
PI.
I want to say it was the black team lined up with
4 too many men in the backfield. Yep.
Yeah, it's like maybe one of the linemen was lined up off the ball a little bit. But all in all, it's pretty clean. I mean, we had a pass interference. I think there was a targeting call that they missed late in the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There was one guy that got lit up, and it looked like a helmet to helmet, but
he was already wrapped up, and another defender came in and tagged him, and it really sounded like there was might have been a what do you call it, a targeting call there, but it didn't get called.
It was a nice spot.
But and then again, I don't know how serious the referees really were about that. I did notice they let the clock run fast. My goodness, that was like one of the fastest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it was maybe just over 2 hours long.
Yeah. I will also say, as a critique to the UGA PA system guy, sir, when people are walking out of the stadium, like the game's just over, and you start playing one song, and the song's like halfway through, and all the kids around the stadium are dancing to it, and then you shut it off. It's really weird to walk out of that stadium with it completely quiet for music. So fix that.
especially when it's only at third capacity.
Yeah, it's at a third capacity.
Really
so
quiet, really awkward.
It was really I don't know. It's just weird. Kirby Smart, seemed to be involved the whole time. I think there was one time he intentionally had a penalty called to back the team up to make it a longer field goal than it was. Whether or not that was the case, I'm not sure, but that may have been the case. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the whole game, at least I think.
All in all, I think one of the good takeaways from this game is let's not be too concerned about Pickens. I hope he gets to come back and play some football for us this year. But the wide receiver core is in good hands.
Absolutely,
it looked really good. I mean,
all the catches look really solid.
Yeah, we got some studs out there on receivers. So,
I think there's definitely been a what's the word I'm looking for? A focus on catching the ball properly. And it really seems to me that there was one particular pass where the ball was pretty much thrown right at the edge of being out of bounds. The receiver not only caught the ball, caught it with both hands, and then rolled to his back without tucking it in, and then held it up like as he was going to the ground to show the umpire referee that the ball was well in control. So there's definitely been a big emphasis on that. I am nowhere near as concerned about the wide receiving core as I was. But,
Yeah, that's good.
all right, well, that's it for me, man. You got it? You
No,
good?
that's it, man. Just we're looking good. I won't say impressed because I was ready to kind of be impressed, but I think the offense is going to be good. Really excited about some guys on defense, and looks like we might be able to get some pressure on the quarterback. So really looking forward to seeing what we can do this year.
Well, that's it for me, guys. I have to agree with pretty much everything you said. So we'll see you guys real soon. We'll have some videos and other stuff that we'll post, some pictures to go along with G-Day game, and really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks so much. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.